There are high hopes for a new website that's been set up by a Canterbury University professor for recording and researching information on the Canterbury earthquakes. The site aims to keep a record of Cantabrians' experiences and also be a search engine for the future.
Keeping a record of a once-in-a-lifetime experience, hoping to show the future Canterbury's strength and resilience in years to come. An umbrella website set up to research and preserve the stories, images and media surrounding the Canterbury earthquakes, appropriately named Seismic, the S replaced with a C for Canterbury.
Well, I'd like to think we'll collect everything. Obviously we won't do that. We're aware that this is time critical. Already Cantabrians want to move on. Most people are looking towards the future, and they're probably deleting, cell phone images and emails and things like that.
So with time ticking, they've set up seismic.org.nz with 4 national and 5 local organisations, including Sarah and the Canterbury Museum. Mr Miller says the collaboration represents what we have to do in Christchurch if we want to recover. The site he likens to a Google for earthquakes.
So people will be able to do quite sophisticated searches. They might be able to search by geographic location or particular date or a suburb or a street. And then along with that, the University of Canterbury is building what we call our own research node.
An expensive, high-speed, world-class research repository, Quake Studies, an archive for collecting research around the Canterbury earthquakes and high-value significant archives.
The Quake Studies repository I've been likening to an Olympic swimming pool. It's high-spec, it's very big, and it's currently empty, and we're going to fill that up over the next few years, and our students are going to play a large part in that.
So the name says it all. Students will study the quake and build, curate and access the archive, while also getting training in other parts of the seismic archive process. But that's not the only door being open to University of Canterbury students.
We're the first university in New Zealand that's going to offer a digital humanities qualification, and that's going to be built around the seismic project and the Quake Studies archive.
The course will look at what happens in digital media, the way people communicate and represent themselves and their societies. But it's also about using digital tools for humanities purposes, which is what the Seismic Archive is all about.
It's about people, it's being curated by people, and we will create new knowledge from it. We're going to do research with a humanities focus that tells us about what we've been through and what we've experienced.
At the launch of the website last Thursday, the press announced they'd be donating all of their earthquake content, including unpublished footage, to Quake Studies. Mr Miller expects that's only the beginning of the growth, hoping they'll access all footage and reports since September 4 last year. But it's not just the technical research and data being collected. Seismic has linked to Quake Stories, a website set up by the Ministry for Culture and Heritage where people can tell their story, a crucial part in the collecting and recording process.
That's, I think, where the social scientists and the humanities scholars have a role to play. When we record those stories and when we make them available for everyone as part of our history, for our grandchildren, but also for our own recovery and to memorialise what we've been through.